Okay, so we've talked about how to organize your information as far as your overall topic, thesis, mini thesis, sub thesis, all the stuff. We've talked about the practicality of citations, and you have a handout on there that really, I think, is what you need to reference. Again, anytime you have any questions, MLA 8 is the style that we are using. It's very Googleable. Googleable. Google it. Purdue OWL website has a lot of really good information on that. So now I want to help you understand kind of how to juggle these sources a little bit. Some of the things that you need to do as you're plunking, because you have these note cards, but we need to, we can't just drop them in. We have to do something with them. So one of the things that you need to do is to make sure that the first time you are using a new source, you actually want to alert your reader to that generally in the course of your sentence and not just in the parenthetical citation. If you were going to quote me, you want to let people know who I am and why they should care about me, if that's the case. Sometimes you might be quoting people that, I don't know if that matters hugely, but if it's someone important like me, you could say Lisa Caldwell, you identify who it is, and then say teacher at In Grace says in her class lecture, and then you could quote me or paraphrase me. So you're actually giving the full name of the person who you're quoting from their work or book. And then you get to your parenthetical citation, and you can do page number, like we've said, but you're going to kind of identify them as authorities. After that, you can refer to them by last name only in the course of your writing in your actual sentence. So you could continue to say Caldwell states, Caldwell argues, Caldwell claims, or in sentences where that's not necessary or appropriate, you can just put my last name in the parenthesis with the page number. After the first time, you never refer to me by my first name only. And when I say me, I mean really your author. I don't really mean you're talking about me in your papers, but you never refer to your author by first name only. You never refer to your author as Mrs. or Mr. or Dr., just last name, unless you happen to have two authors with the same last name, and then you would need to use the first name as well. You also want to make sure that you never take a source out of context. You never misuse or try to get something to say something that you need it to say when that's not really what it says. Make sure you explain and set up any quotes or paraphrases or summary you are explaining, but just make sure there's a lot of explaining happening. Tell me why you're telling me this and what it relates to, how it relates to the thing before, and then connect it to the next thing. Make a paper chain out of all these, pretend like those note cards are like you're making a paper chain and you want to connect and link things one to the other. Make sure you incorporate quotes into the flows of your own sentences. I think you guys are really good at this. I don't see anybody struggling with this, but you never just say, quote, period, that's what somebody said. You're always going to either say something like, Caldwell claims, comma, quote, or Caldwell argues that students should always buy Starbucks gift cards for their teachers. And you've paraphrased me. Or Caldwell claims that her homeschool, I don't know, I can't think of anything. I'm not going to waste your time by trying to improvise on the fly. I'm failing there. If for whatever reason you want to use a longer quote, a quote that is more than 2 or 3 sentences long, then you would format it as a block quote, and it's going to look a little different. I'll have an example for you. You're going to indent one side of that quote, and it's going to look like a block. That's why it's called a block quote. It won't be part of your running text. Avoid doing that. I would say quote and summarize and paraphrase whenever possible. Quote least of all. I mean, quotes are great, but break them up, make them small, make them short. Use ellipses to leave out stuff that is not as crucial. Run them into the flow of your own sentence. Use fragments and phrases. So you guys are really actually pretty good at that. So just keep doing that as long as you make sure you're not losing the meaning of things. And Feel free to use the ellipsis. Feel free to use brackets. Emily's really good at brackets and ellipsis. If you guys need help, you can ask her. The brackets, or if you need to change a word in a quote to make it make sense with your grammar. You never want to change a quote just because you don't like the word in it. You have to use the word in the quote. But if, for example, you were quoting me and I said, "I'm the greatest teacher ever," but your sentence is, "Mrs. Caldwell claims that, quote, she is the greatest teacher ever," and you've changed the word "I" that I used to a "she," you would just take the "I" out altogether and put the "she" in brackets. So brackets are like parentheses that have 90-degree angles instead of curves. So this is my bracket and this is my parentheses. I'm getting a little slap happy. I've filmed a lot of these videos. I keep deleting them. Anyway, I don't think I need to say anything else to you guys. Email me if you are really stuck. I'll be home on the 15th. I'll be happy to help however I can. I might be a little jet lagged for the first day or two, so I might be sleeping, but I will try to help and we will get through this and you guys can do it. You're awesome.